Hey guys, we got our hands on the early access release of Mass Effect Andromeda, and we're going to do some testing here, and we're going to play the game a little bit. You're going to see that. One of the main points of this video though is to talk about how it performs on some of the older hardware. Now what we have for this rig right here is an i7 3770K. It is overclocked a little bit, and we also have two AMD Radeon R9 390s. Up in the top left hand corner will be the frame rate while we play through here a little bit. Now right now I've got the settings on Ultra, and we're running at 1440p. The monitor we're using is a Pixio 27 inch. It's a PX277. It's 144 Hertz 1440p monitor. I do really enjoy the monitor. Seems to work great. But let's go ahead and play for a few minutes and we'll talk about what we see going on here.
I hope not. I signed up for a little adventure before we settle down.
Well, buckle up. Sounds like you'll get your wish.
Hope we pack more coffee.
Readings confirmed. Based on the levels of adenosine in your system, the neural implant is functioning properly.
Wait, adeno what?
It just means you're still shaking off your nap. No reason why we can't get you on your way.
So right off the bat, we're noticing pretty low frame rates, right around 30 frames per second. This seems a little low. We do have two of the R9 390s in Crossfire, but one of the interesting things about this early access release is that it does not seem to work with multiple GPUs. I've done a little research. It doesn't work in SLI or Crossfire. I've tried a couple things, tried to force it on. Couldn't really get it forced on either. So we've kind of got what we got. Looks like a few extra frames here. We are inside. This is probably not one of the most intensive scenes in the game, but 40 frames is just not ideal. It might be playable. It'd really be nice if we could get Crossfire in the final release. It would be really strange for a AAA game to not have support for multiple GPUs.
We're not sure. Sensors are scrambled. But it's good to see you're up. Feels like centuries since we spoke.
This is the Pathfinder. Mission team continuing preparations. Cora,
But obviously this is pre-release, so we kind of gotta wait it out before we start saying that, you know, it's definitely not going to work in the future.
What's wrong? I don't know. Have to check it out.
I am getting a few jumps and
How is
seems maybe frame drops going on, even just in these first scenes at this low frame rate.
it? Scott,
Wow, down to 24 there.
Sarah's fine. Her vitals are strong. But the revival procedure was interrupted.
When can she wake up?
So I kept the settings at Ultra, but turned the screen resolution down to 1920 by 1200. Once again, still at the 144 Hertz. We do get some frame rate increase. Obviously, we're up from the 30 and 25 drops to we're seeing maybe 50 with some drops into the 40s still, though. Definitely a single graphics card not powerful enough for 1440p at Ultra on this game. At least on one of these older R9 390s. It does have 8 gigs of video memory. I mean, that part of that was more than what you would need for some of the older games. It was advertised, of course, as being able to work for newer stuff that's coming out. It certainly works, but we're turning down the resolution. I'm going to make some adjustments to the settings and see if we can get it at 1440p. Maybe we just turn some stuff down. So we're back at 1440p. I turned some settings down. We did get some improvement of frame rate. I definitely don't think that this is, I mean, we're right here in the mid 40s and we're still inside. So obviously it's going to get worse once we get to some of the more intensive parts of this game.
Now we can get to the tram.
So we're going to have to work on the settings just a little bit more. The big things I really don't want to have to turn down, we don't want to have to do resolution scaling. I mean, that means you might as well just be running it in like 1080p or low resolution.
Cloud. And that's just a wild guess what we hit.
There have been some complaints about voice sync and some of the facial animations.
Alec, I need to assess the damage. Stop
I'm not
doing
sure
it.
if
We've got
ours
20,000
was maybe
people asleep on this ship.
exaggerated a little bit by the low frame rates, but I'm definitely seeing what they're talking about here. Outside of the cutscenes, it seems like the frame rate's a little better. Like I said, we're inside. We're about to go outside probably for the first time.
We scanned it. You forgot your helmet.
Let's give it a shot. Gonna need my helmet. So we're outdoors now,
I've seen my share of troubles.
and the frame rate is, now we're back, even after the settings adjustments,
Those folks out there.
mid to high 30s. We turn back to some places with a little less flora. We can get it up to, the 60s, but this is really, let's run this way. It's really just pretty low. So I've changed the settings now to the game's default medium settings. We definitely have a big increase in frame rate. We're over 100 frames per second in some instances, 90s, mid 90s.
Oh, and safety tip.
Let's run
Don't
around.
breathe the air. Found that out the hard way.
There is a definite visual difference in ultra and medium,
Think that energy cloud is so
even from some of the settings I did.
dark energy.
I think I could try to fine tune it a little better
Head of a cloud.
to try to get,
Cloud that makes boulders.
around 60 frames per second, which is really what I'm going after, which is what everybody wants. That's your gaming standard, 60 frames per second.
Come on, we gotta get through it.
That's what you really want.
Welcome to Habitat.
What we're getting here is a little higher than that, and I'm sure it's not really needed. The extra frames aren't going to make a big difference. So I'll probably work on fine-tuning it a little bit, but essentially, is the R9 390 and an i7 3770K enough to play this game? Well, play it, yeah, definitely.
How's your gun?
I mean, it's just how high are you going to get to turn the settings up?
Think you saw that?
And, at 1080p, I definitely think you'd have a lot better luck than what I'm having trying to run it at 1440p. Obviously, a lot more pixels running here, a lot harder on the graphics card, and we're just having to turn the settings down quite a bit to get what I would consider a playable frame rate. And the cutscenes were one of the things that was the biggest deal to me when we were getting at, ultra settings or even, mixed high ultra settings at 1440p. I mean, we were running at less than 30 frames per second in the cutscenes, and that's just unreasonable. What I do hope, though, is that they get Crossfire working. I do have two graphics cards. I have two of the 390s, and I think that 30 frames per second times 2, 60, would be more than enough. Now, obviously, I think we all know Crossfire doesn't scale 100%, Sly doesn't scale 100%, but if we could even get an extra 20 frames per second out of it, that would put us around 50. We could then cut a couple of the settings and get something a little nicer, whilst not having to give up too much and be able to play it at 1440p. But for 1080p, I think the card would be enough for high settings at least. One of the things that I've noticed is that for almost every graphics change that you make, it wants a game restart, full engine restart. A little annoying. So I made some more adjustments to the graphics settings. I'm just going to run back here. I think I finally got something that gets us reasonable fidelity without giving up too many frames. It's like low 50s, and this is a pretty graphically intensive scene here. I'll show you what I ended up with. Or of course custom resolution scaling off, so we get the full 1440p. Textures ultra. This is more so how much video memory you've got. Now it will affect frame rate a little bit, but you'll find that if you've got the video RAM for the extra texture quality, go ahead and turn that up. So go ahead and run it on Ultra. Anti-aliasing is in the FXA, ambient occlusion, which is SSAO, screen space based ambient occlusion, HBAO we are not going to be using, it's just too intensive. Post-processing, medium, texture filtering, medium, lighting, medium, shadows, medium, effects, medium, mesh quality, medium, shader quality, low, terrain quality, medium, and vegetation, medium. So basically everything medium across the board, except we're running textures on Ultra because we've got enough video memory for that. And the game looks pretty good, and we're getting plenty of frames. Second graphics card being able to turn on would be a huge benefit to us, and we could turn up some of those settings, but I think that it actually looks alright. Let's run around here, see what's going on. Got my gun. Oh, a lot of bad guys. There we go, got a cutscene to test out, right around 60, just below, up, drop, 48 there, 47 maybe.
He was trying to surrender. Why kill him?
Much better than the 30 we were
Would it
getting.
be that any different if they showed up on Earth, armed to the teeth? Maybe not. Peace isn't going to be an option here. We'll come back for his body once we find it. The others. Hope Rhea's still alive somewhere.
And just take this assault rifle from my dead buddy there.
Is this really something?
Seems reasonable. What was that? Whoa! I think we'll end it here for now, guys. Thanks for coming along and seeing some of this gameplay footage and seeing how this slightly older computer fares in this brand new game and what it's going to take to get a play. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out a little bit on whether you guys think your rigs are going to be able to play the game. And like I said, I will get another review up if and when Crossfire becomes enabled and I get to run 2 graphics cards, run both of them, and we can see how much that helps out if we're able to really turn the settings up.